Let's take a look at the Covrprice Weekly Top 10, where those books fit into the market. Up next on this video from Bronzeville Comics. Hey there, panelologists. This is Jim from Bronzeville Comics coming to you with another video. And we're going to try something new on the channel. I'm going to do a different weekly series where we're going to cover the Covrprice Top 10 Books of the Week. But we're going to take it a slightly different tack than a lot of other channels look at. Rather than just highlighting the key significance of the books, let's take a look at their place in the market. And we're also, is this a book to pick up or not? And you have to remember, usually these books fit into a few categories. There's the hot variant cover, usually something brand new. The ability for those books to hold their value over time is somewhat limited. Then there's the book that pops out of nowhere due to movie or television speculation. And then there is the perennial key. A key comic book that's always has been and always going to be a key comic book. Sometimes that TV movie spec propels a book into that stratosphere because characters that had been pretty small previously all of a sudden become much larger in the pop culture sphere. Anyway, let's take a look at the top 10, and I want to start with. Which one are we going to start with? We're going to start with number 10. Where are we? Oh, here it is. Oh, wait. Let me share my screen. That's where I'm going. Wolverine number 36, the Leinil Francis Yu second print, black and white, 1 in 25, which is still in pre-release. It is a reprint of issue number 36, which is the first appearance of Wolverine. We can see near mint copies going for $49, $79 high sale. If we look at the original, the regular cover, and there are a bunch of variants to this. The regular cover for Wolverine 36, the first appearance of Wolverine, is about a $15 book that has been around just long enough to get some books on the census. 9.8 selling at about $100. I do believe the ability to hold this price is limited as supply increases beyond what the demand is. But when we go to the second print, that book is trending much higher. It is a 1 in 25, and it is a second print. Now, I would say if you could pick up a book like this for a ratio price, at your LCS, that's 36. Second print. I'm not sure how many are available right now on eBay. We got to put in the 1 in 25. Yeah, that's not really yet available on eBay. Or maybe just put second print U. This is one to be careful of. Now, if you're a fan of Ghost Rider, fan of Wolverine, two of the more popular characters in Marvel, it might be worth picking this book up, but I'm not sure what the long-term value of this is going to be. It might be something to keep an eye on if you see the shelves of your LCS. Number 8 is Power Man and Iron Fist number 79. And this is the first appearance. I believe the character is Judge Gamble, which is a character that is going to be portrayed by Liz Carr in the upcoming Loki series. And this is a book that came out of nowhere. Right? Issue number 79. If we go down to key collectors, this is brand new. Rumored Liz Carr will depict Judge Gamble, former employee of the TVA. I'm not sure how well this is going to hold its value. We can see here that it, at most is sold for $10. And there's really no graded copies. If there is a graded copy, let's see if there is one on the census. Power Man and Iron Fist, 79. There are a few copies out there. 2 sales. There are 12 universal copies, 7 9/8. A 9/8 in March sold for $33. Now, let's see if this is what is available. This is certainly a book. If you see it in a dollar bin, grab it. I would not pay $19. $12. I would not, $3 maybe. You have it on auction for $1. So there are a lot of copies that are being thrown up there. Condition obviously is a big factor. Don't see any graded copies. I'm just going to throw in CGC. If you have one of those, if I had one of those 9/8s, a 9/4 up for 130, I think that's high. If I had a 9/8, I might throw it out there just because I don't think this has legs. This is a character that will probably be contained within the Loki series. So I don't see much on this. It's not, I don't think it's a sustainable key comic book. So that is number 9. Number 8 on the list is Star Wars number 38, the 1 in 25 Bjorn Barnes variant, Star Wars Bounty Hunters. Does this have key significance? Star Wars. Now, I am not the no, I think it's a new book, right? Oh, this is a brand new book. I guess it's a cover buy, right? So number 38, yeah, it's a brand new book. See copies in the $25 to $35 range for high grade copies. It is a 1 in 25. Again, if this is General Grievous cover, that's a pretty cool cover. If this is something that you're interested in, either look for it at your LCS, but I find oftentimes with variant covers, you can wait for the secondary market to cool down and pick them up. Now, every once in a while, if you do that, you might miss the boat on something, but I wouldn't pay more than ratio price for this book. Up next on the list is Wolverine number 1, volume 2, the first ongoing series. This is an established key book. It has been a key for a long time. We can see near mint copies go for over $100, 9.8s about $400. But let's take a look at this over time. And this is where we have a lot of track record. People have been collecting this book for over 30 years, and the most common grade is a 9.8, almost as many 9.6s, but 17,000 copies on universal copies on the CGC census, 3,009.8. If we take a look at the 9.8 over time, obviously poking along here at just $150, $200. Comic Boom brings it up to $750 in May of 2021, and then it's been correcting ever since. It was down at about $350, a little bit of a boost lately, but if we look at the recent sales, I mean, these are all sales within this month. One sold for $900 on an eBay auction. That makes absolutely no sense. Oh, it is a newsstand. Okay. That makes a little bit of sense. But you're talking about it's gone from maybe low to mid 300s up to about $400. So this is a book that has established its value, but you can see the trend over the last 2 years has been downward. We know Wolverine books as a whole have been getting a push from the Deadpool movie. I would maybe look for a deal on this if this is a book you really want to add to your collection. $400 is probably the max that I would think about spending on this. I think long-term, it's a good book to have, especially at a 9.8. It is from the late 80s. It is a tough book to get in a 9.8 because there's also a back cover that has a lot of black on it as well as the front cover. So there's a lot of color rub and also a lot of white on the back, and gets color rub from the book that was behind it. But it's not impossible to get in a 9.8. So there are a lot of high grade copies out there. Again, if you see a newsstand, especially a raw newsstand, when somebody's not really aware of the value of the newsstand, that might be something that one would take a look at. When they track the newsstand copies, we really don't have census data just yet, but the 9.8 is over $1,000 book. So there's about a 2.5. You see, back in a $1,388 sale for a 9.8 newsstand back in July. So that's probably a solid $1,000 book. Not as much. It dipped earlier this year, but it has been strong. So Wolverine is popular. This book has had fairly consistent value, but might not have hit its floor yet. Let's take a look at the next book on the list, and it is Fish Flies, #2 by Jeff Lemire. It's a recalled book due to an error. So here's the problem with these. Ask your LCS if they have one, because they were told to destroy them. They probably didn't. Recalled due to printing error. I'm not exactly sure what the printing error is, but it's usually those books. There are more out there than one would think. And I'm not sure what the error is on the book. Does it say? Recalled edition with boarded pages and an error recalled variant type. I'm not sure. But, you know, do we have any Fish Flies 2 error? Let's see. I'm looking at this in real time. Image. What's the other cause it to be? 2 pages are the same. Okay. 43 had the wrong lettering. Will this have long-term value? Probably not. There are probably a lot more out there than you would think because it's an error. They asked them to destroy copies. They're not destroying copies, I'm pretty sure. Up next on the list, what are we down to? #5. Dazzler #1. More Taylor Swift speculation. This book, I was actually on a Whatnot sale where the seller was like, this is like, he thought the book was much bigger than it is. Or he was trying to convince people of that. One thing to remember, it was direct sale only. There is no newsstand from 1981. This is not Dazzler's first appearance, but a lot of people are speculating on Taylor Swift. Let's take a look on the CGC. Let's take a look at the 9.8 because there are the number of 9.8s and 9.6s is close enough. 1,400 universal copies, 341 9.8s. Let's take a look. Pages expired. Yes, we want to refresh the page. There we go. So look at the 9.8s over time. And this has actually been slowly building. Didn't have much of a comic boom other than maybe like it was around $100 and then it jumped to $240. And it's kind of been in that $200 range for the last couple of months. Now, there's one of two ways to think about this. If Taylor Swift is cast and that's confirmed and she's seen on screen or seen in a trailer, then a lot of her fans may flock to get this book. They may more so flock to get X-Men 130. But I'm sure this is a really cool cover. It was actually originally intended to be a graphic novel, and then they decided to make it an ongoing series. That's John Romita Jr. cover, right? I'm pretty sure it's Romita Jr. And so, I don't know if Dazzler's a character that has legs. Maybe if Marvel played their cards right and was able to get Taylor Swift to make a commitment to the character, could use that popularity. I'm not sure. how great an actress she is. If you can get this book, $200 looks to be about the max that it's hitting right now. People asking for a little bit better than that. But, if you can get a deal on it, maybe in a 9.8. Otherwise, I would probably, there are enough copies out there. You could probably get a nice raw copy to add to your collection. Let's move to number 4 on the list. Another constant key, and that is Spawn #1 from 1992, the book that helped launch Image, the classic cover by Todd McFarlane. Again, a book that there are plenty out there. You probably $40 to $50, $30 to $50 for a high grade copy, 9.8 selling in the 150 to 200 range. And that's been pretty consistent. There has been some news about the fact that the movie is progressing. I would take that with a grain of salt. That movie has been in development forever, and it seems like it's fairly slow moving. But now look at this. There are 23,797 universal copies, plus another 7,400 signed. 11,000 of those copies are 9.8s. There are even, 69 9.9s and 6 10.0s. The newsstand might be something that you could chase on this. That's a little more valuable, but we can see. Let's take a look over time. The book was trending in the low hundreds range until we get to the boom, and then we only went up to about $250, and it's been slowly coming down. But it has been coming down since the beginning of the year from about 180 and now down to about 150. So, you can get one for like under $150. eBay auctions are usually where you might get better deals than fixed price. So that might be something you want to keep an eye on. If we want to look at newsstands, which are much rarer, then you're talking 9.8s in the $600 to $700 range. Again, the newsstand copies jumped at the end of 2020, and the values held pretty well on the newsstand 9.8. No census data available on that because CGC did not differentiate that until the last year. So Spawn #1, you could probably pick up a high grade raw copy for under $40, I'm going to say. And if you have an eye and you can clean and press and submit it, maybe get a 9.8 yourself. There are plenty of 9.8s out there, and there are probably going to be plenty more in the future. So let's take a look to number 3, and Wolverine continues. Wolverine 36, the Helverine. We already talked about this. This is the Stegman regular cover. We talked about the 9.8 being about $100. Let's see what it's going for. Wolverine 36 CGC. Wolverine 36 CGC 9.8 is selling currently. You can get, they're asking, there's an auction that's right now at 50. That's a pre-order or the second printing. There are other variant covers. There are plenty of variant covers of this. If you're interested in this, take a look at it. You might be better off for any of these any of the variants to wait. I would see if your LCS still has a copy that you could get probably for less than $20, and maybe submit it yourself if you're so inclined, because as I said, the supply in this will only increase. I'm not sure the demand will. Number 2 on the list is Snatched #1. And there has been, this is a Scout Comics book. You see about a $10 raw book. And let's go to the key significance here. I think they're not even covering it. What does it say in the weekly top 10? I do believe there has been some development news. I put in Scout, not Snatched. Snatched. Optioned by Warner Brothers. That doesn't mean a lot. This is a book from 2021, so it's a new book from Scout Comics. I would not go out of my way to do this. There are a lot a lot of properties, especially independent properties that are optioned, and a small fraction of them actually make it to the small screen. Even a smaller fraction make it to the large screen. So this is one of those books, when it makes the hot list, it just kind of puts in my head, if I see this somewhere, it might be worth grabbing. And that brings us to number 1 on the list, the hot book of the week, Wolverine number 37. This retailer incentive cover by Greg Capullo. This was a 1 per store surprise variant. Each store got one of these. Some stores got more than one if they use different distributors, but essentially 1 per store. This virgin cover. You can kind of argue the merits of how the claws look, but it's kind of, this is the hot book because there's a perceived scarcity to it. No 9.8s out there yet. I don't know I don't know if we've seen any. Let's see if there's any on Wolverine 37. Nothing recent. This is Wolverine 37. There's nothing available. There's no census data. Let's just go directly to the CGC census. Wolverine. Oops, missed the box. Wolverine 7. Now we've had time for any of these. Oh my goodness, there's so many Wolverine titles. 91, 2013. No, this probably hasn't yet gotten to the CGC census, which is fine. But this is the hot book of the week. Can we get it on eBay? Wolverine 37. A $13 copy. No, that's not the virgin. This is the 1 per store. $65 buy it now. $70 buy it now. 1 up for auction. Be interesting to see where that lands. Another auction. $80. Auction now at $15. $80. $125. So they are available. I might keep my eye on some of these auctions and see if you can grab it for a deal. But this would have to be something that you would be particularly interested in having in your collection. I am dubious about the long-term value of these hot new variant covers. Let's think of the Patrick Gleason Amazing Spider-Man 55 webhead variants. Those have come down to essentially cover price for Raws. So I would not put a lot of stock in that. So that's it for the weekly top 10. Let me know what you think about those. We have some established keys, Dazzler 1, Wolverine 1, and Spawn 1. We have some new variant covers. We have an error. We have some movie/TV speculation. We have a Power Man and Iron Fist book that has a character we may see in Loki. That's a book that you may just go into a back bin and nobody's grabbed it yet. I don't know. If you could pick it up for a few bucks, it might be worth it. I think the max I would spend on that is $5. In high grade, I don't think that has legs. And I'm not sure any of the books that we saw on the list that are not already established keys. Maybe the first appearance of Wolverine. If that's a character you believe in and you can get it for the right price, maybe that could be the best speculation book. So let me know what you think about this series. If you want me to continue, I want to do it in this format because it's kind of, I can kind of do a quick and dirty recording. So in the meantime, you can take a look at a couple of my other videos here. And this is Jim saying until next time, enjoy your comics.